In this demonstration, we're going to look at creating an edge server synchronization. What this allows us to do is it allows the hub transport server that we have sitting on our LAN to communicate with the edge transport server sitting in our DMZ. The purpose of this is to create all of the send and receive connectors and also to secure the send and receive connectors between the hub transport server and the edge transport server. So first things that we've got here is we have our Exchange Management Console, and what we're going to do here is, as you can see, we have our edge transport server up and running. The next thing we're going to do here is just create the edge synchronization. In order to do this, we do this through the Exchange Management Shell. So what I have sitting here, we have the Exchange Management Shell. Now within here, what we want to do is just create our new edge subscription by using the PowerShell commandlet in order to do this. Okay, so as we can see here, we've done the new edge subscription, specifying a file name, and we're creating the XML file that we'll then need for the hub transport server to set up the other end of the subscription, and we're going to save it to the C drive. So hit return. As you can see, it's just telling us that it's going to create one of these files. Basically, are we sure we want to do this? Yes, we are. So I'll hit yes to that. It's now created the edge subscription file. So what we need to do is we need to copy this now onto the hub transport server. So we've got our edge transport server. I'm just going to copy this file. I'm just going to paste this onto the C drive of the VAN EX1 server, which is the hub transport server. So we'll just paste that across. Probably in the real world, we wouldn't be doing this through Windows Explorer. We would probably be copying the file off onto a USB key fob or some sort of other device that's removable, taking it to the hub transport server and copying it across. Now that we've done that, we now need to flip over to VAN EX1 and use the management console in order to set up the other edge of this edge subscription service. Now we're sitting on the Exchange Management Console for VAN EX1, which is my hub transport server. I've already gone to the Edge Subscriptions tab under my hub transport connection under Organizational Configuration. And what we want to do here is just set up the other end. So we'll click on New Edge Subscription. It's now going to ask us which Active Directory site that we want to place this server in. So specify the Active Directory site to which the Edge Transport server will subscribe. Browse through here. I've really only got the one site currently, default first site name. Now we've done that, we just need to browse through to the edge subscription file which we created earlier on. So just on my C drive, click on the XML file, click open, and then click new. So it's going to create all the send and receive connectors that are required. So just click finish. And what we've got now is we now have this edge synchronization in place. The next thing we want to do is just verify that the hub transport server can communicate with the edge transport server. So to do that, we're just going to quickly nip back onto our server. So we're already here. Click on our little drop down. So a couple of little issues here because a couple of these servers aren't up and running at the moment. And what we're going to do here is we're just going to start the edge synchronization. So with a little PowerShell commandlet, so we've got Start Edge Synchronization, hit return. It's now going to synchronize all of the Active Directory information that we require in the Adam database on the Edge Transport server. Now we've done that, we'll just test it. So in order to do that, we have another little commandlet that we can use, which is the test. So hit return there. We just have a look down this. We can see that the test at this point has worked fine. Sync status is normal. We've now set up the various connectors between the Edge Transport server and the hub transport server. So what we'll do is we'll just quickly nip back to VAN Edge transport server, and what we'll have a look at is on the edge synchronization server, we'll just ensure that all of the connectors have been built. Okay, back on the edge transport server, what we've got here, we've got the receive connectors. We've got the default one here. This is just for receiving email from the internet. What we should also have as well is we should have a send connector to actually allow us to send email from the outside world out to our servers. What we would then find on the other end, on the hub transport server, we'd find a send connector which would allow us to communicate with the edge transport server. So yep, that's working fine. The next thing to do really is just check our address space in order to ensure that everything is set up correctly. So if we have a look at the accepted domains, we can see that we have the accepted domains in place. So my edge transport server receives from these authoritative domains and then passes the email to the hub transport server. Now we've done all of this, next thing to do is I actually have a company called bdatum.com, and what I want to happen here is bdatum.com is the parent company. So these three companies here belong to bdatum.com. what we want to do is set up address rewriting. And what address rewriting allows us to do is, as mail leaves the Edge Transport Server, it allows the domain to appear as though it has come from bdatum. So regardless of where we send the email from, the address rewriting will appear as though the mail did come from the bdatum.com. So to do that, the address rewriting we have to do through the management shell. So the command that we have in place is new -address rewrite entry, -name, and then the name that we want to put in the address rewrite, and then the internal address will be a datum.com. Anything coming from a datum.com needs to have an external address when the receiving people get our emails, which will show it as though it came from bdatum.com. What we would then do is we would do the same thing with Fourth Coffee, and we do the same thing with all of the other domains that we want to set up rewriting on. So all we'll do here, just hit return. So as you can see here, to set it up, like I said, we'll just do the same thing with all of the other domains, and that would set up the address rewrite. So that's the end of this quick demonstration of configuring the Edge Transport Server synchronization and address rewriting technology.